back to Good Morning Vail. There are always so many great activities and events that you can participate in our community, and whether you're an ally or whether you're part of the LGBTQ plus community, well then there's something taking place tomorrow between the Bookworm of Edwards and Mountain Pride. So I've got Allie Teague and Madison Partridge joining me on the couch. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Thank you both so much for being here. Now, I just have to give you guys a shout out with your matching pink hair because I love it.
It's a requirement for sure.
It's a requirement.
Yeah.
Well, I'm missing out.
Yeah, come on, get on it.
Honestly, how much you love our pink hair, I know part of you wants to do it. So I think
part of me wants to do it so bad. All right, so let's talk about what's happening tomorrow night because we've all read this book now, or we're all working on reading this book. And this is a collaboration by both of your incredible organizations to really just give everyone kind of a safe place.
Totally. I mean, speaking for the Bookworm, we definitely want to make sure that we're a space that's welcoming to everyone of all kinds. And we decided, this year we're finally going to do this queer book club we've been thinking about. And luckily we have this awesome organization to partner with to give us the support to do that. So this is the first book we chose, and we're stoked about it.
Yeah.
Which this book is so good, and I can speak for all of us as we're all now reading it, and we were just talking about how it's a total tearjerker off camera. So if you've not read it, you need to read it. Now, for people who don't know about Mountain Pride, only because I'm so proud of you guys and everything that you do here in our community, just because 3 years in the making, and you guys are just absolutely doing the most incredible work.
Well, you are so sweet. So we are a new nonprofit dedicated to improving the lived experience of the LGBTQ plus community in Eagle County and across the mountains. And so this partnership is just so perfect. How important it is for queer visibility to show up in the community, queer spaces that we can go to and feel comfortable. And so knowing our partnership with the Bookworm and how much of an advocate and ally they are, it was the perfect thing. So many of the queer community goes and looks for books that they can see themselves represented. They can tell their story and connect with that book. So why not partner together, come to a space, chat about this book. And what's important is I haven't read it all yet, so I'm going to be more part of the dialogue. So if anyone's interested in just coming, listening, being a part of the dialogue, having some coffee and eating some snacks together and just being in a safe space, everyone is welcome to join.
Which, this is my favorite part when you go into the Bookworm, as I was in there last Monday, and I was just cruising through, exploring, and Allie goes, Maddie, you have to come. And she was like, as an ally, you're so welcome. And honestly, I was like, I am so lucky to feel so at home in this amazing community as well that you guys have created. And this book, let's just talk about the book for a second.
It's absolutely incredible. It came out in 2020, so it's a little bit older. The reason I selected it for our first book is actually because it was the second most banned book last year, banned and challenged, which is crazy because it's someone's lived experience.
Right.
And so we decided, it's super important to read the stories, not only by, queer people and people of color, but especially the ones that are getting heat. So I love that we picked it not only for our discussion, but also because we're boosting some sales for George, and I think that's important right now.
I think it's so important too, and especially because you read the book and you fall in love with his character, and I'm an audiobook kind of girl, so I'm listening to it, and he narrates it, so you get he talks so early on about how sassy he is, and you get all that sass, and then you fall in love with him just based on the fact that you can totally hear him in this book.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, they've got such a great voice and such a great command over the English language, and honestly, the hardest part for me is narrowing down the discussion questions we're going to have. It's 3 pages long at the moment, which I know is way too long. So that's going to be my work tonight, is figuring out what we're actually going to highlight.
Which I think is such an incredible opportunity. And like I said earlier, there is that safe space that you guys do create within the community, because there are a lot of people that come here and they don't know that this is an option. And so people need this safe place, and they need these discussion questions, whether they've read the book or whether they just want to get their brain kind of turning on these maybe hardships that people have seen throughout their lives that not a lot of people fully understand.
It's that lived experience that can only be honestly read through a book unless you're living it in your own life. And so for our allies, for our parents, community partners that just want to learn more and just be a part of these discussions to understand how to better support, understand the lived experience, can come to these conversations, be a part of this dialogue, read these books, and listen to the community and grow. Because I think there's this fear around being a bad ally by doing or saying the wrong things. And it's not. It's get a part of these conversations, come and learn, and these are the spaces to do it.
Which, this is the thing that I'm honestly the most grateful for, because until last year I was like, oh, I'm totally an ally. And then I came to Mountain Pride, the Pride in the Park, I did the volunteer work, and I like really spent some time where I could ask questions and not feel like I was a bad ally, really, because at some points, as someone who wants to be like a devoted ally, you're like, I just don't have the knowledge or the education around it. And so you're right, these are moments where you can come, and you guys also offer great events, really focused on helping the allies understand what they can do better.
Totally, yeah. We're throughout 2023, we're going to have a lot of different educational events to offer that allyship, or if businesses or organizations or individuals want that support or a training, they can reach out to us because we offer those. But there's so much opportunity to learn and grow, whether that's a one-on-one conversation at a coffee shop or through these type of events or coming to other more community-focused events. There's opportunities to learn as allies.
Now, if people are interested in finding out more about Mountain Pride and all of the wonderful things that you guys do here in our community, because there's always activities, like always, their event calendar is stacked. How can they do so?
Mountainpride.org is the best place to see our calendar events, also our social media, working in partnership with like the Bookworm to share these different fun events. But we actually have a packed week this week. We have the Read with Pride book club, which is going to happen every single month. We're going to have a new book, a new conversation on the last Wednesday of each month. So if somebody can't read this book, well, there's going to be a bunch more throughout the year. But we also have Queer Climbing Night this Sunday and Equal Climbing and Fitness. So it's $15 happy hour. If you need support to cover that, we got it. And then next Tuesday we have Queer Coffee, which is just kind of the same thing. It's just a space to connect with shared lived experiences, make friends, just chat with each other, and over a beautiful cup of coffee at Two Arrows.
Two Arrows coffee is delicious, but all of the people that work with you guys at Mountain Pride are so wonderful, and same with the Bookworm. You guys come in, and no matter what, I always feel like I've just like entered a new little home, and I'm like, this is great. Like, this takes the Valley from basically being a house to turning it into a home for so many, and the work that you guys are doing is so important, because you as the Bookworm bringing everyone together and making sure that everyone can enjoy this fabulous book and coming up with these important discussion questions and really hitting those kind of heavy hitting things that no one really wants to talk about, but like people need to talk about, is so important. And then Mountain Pride giving people that safe place is just like the cherry on top of the whole cake.
I mean, I just like am so in awe of the work the Bookworm has done and the variety of books they offer. Really, like you said, it feels like a home going in there and looking around. Even if I don't buy a book, like I feel so comfortable being in that space and getting a great cup of coffee or a crepe. So just really thankful for this partnership and excited for the year.
Now, can you guys give us a hint at what next month's book is, or do we have to wait?
Well, I decided that I shouldn't decide. I'm going to put it out to whoever shows up tomorrow, and we're going to vote and see what we think. I have a couple ideas. My personal pick would be Pet by Akweki Emezi. It's about a trans girl of color who saves the world, and I think that's super important right now.
I think that's super important right now, and that's something that they also touch on in this book that, like, it got me. It got me last night when I read that part. I was like, oh no. I was like, wait, I loved her. So that's just like a small look into what's going to happen in this book and why people really should just read these books, because it does help you understand. I just read Mad Honey, and it has part of that kind of learning experience in it, because I never realized until that like catch came out of the book that was even going to happen. And then it gives you such a perspective as the mom is seeking all of these answers to really understand better, because she is so proud of her son throughout that.
I mean, we're in a cool space right now where like more stories like this are being published. So
I just bought Mad Honey for my whole family. I'm making everyone read it.
Good.
For that reason specifically, because I think it is important.
yeah.
Super important, and So 6 p.m.
Yeah.
is when it starts
Yes.
at the Bookworm in Edwards. But feel free, if you can't make it right at 6, come at any time.
Totally.
Be a part of the whole conversation, be a part of some of it. Come at the end and just connect, and let's figure out what we're going to read next month and just emphasize these important voices that have been silenced for so long.
Definitely.
And now, if people do want to come, do they need to register online?
It's preferred if you register at mountainpride.org /Read with Pride Book Club. But if you just show up, no worries, we'll get you signed in.
Thank you guys so much for coming, giving us all this great information, chatting about the book, and thank you again for all the hard work that you do in our community. It's really important and special to everyone.
Thank you.
Make sure that you make your way over to the Bookworm. You get your hands on this great book. Even if you're not going to participate in the discussion tomorrow, there's such great learning opportunities because you are reading about someone else's experiences and these very important hardships that you don't fully know happen around the world right now. So make sure that you check this out. We're going to take a short break. When we come back from the break, we're going to take another look at that local weather forecast, so stay tuned.